Hey, welcome to the Esoteric Empire. This is something that I feel like needs to be said. And I was just doing a reading and it came out and I was like, I need to make a separate video on that. So I just want to amplify this message, right? When you're going through heartache or when you're going through grief or when you're going through sorrow or any sort of depressing situation or a down moment, and I'm not talking about just having a day where you just don't feel like doing stuff. I'm talking about that certain event happens where your stomach just falls, you know what I mean? And you feel like you're gonna throw up. But it's nothing gonna come out or anything. You can't really speak, or maybe you feel like yelling, or those moments where you really feel like, yo, like, am I the only one in the world who's suffering with this right now? Those type of situations. In those times, especially if it deals with someone else or someone else doing something to you or someone not doing something for you. Let's say it's a relationship, or let's say it's a broken friendship. Let's say it's even death, you know? Not to say that you should be insensitive towards it, but my advice, or something that I feel like is most helpful, is to feel sad for as long as you need to, depending on the situation. That feeling may never go away, which you feel initially, but there's intensity levels, you know what I mean? The more that you go through life, the easier it is to cope. You find a way to cope with it, you know what I mean? And in those moments, you may need to take a day or two. You may even need to take 5 days, depending on how serious the situation is. My advice to you, take those days. Be real with yourself. Cry it out. Get it out of your system. I personally believe the faster you do that, the quicker you can finally realize, okay, crying is not going to help me right now, right? So for me, I'm more of a 1 day type of gal. I'm more of a 30 minutes type of gal. I'm more of a, okay, I'm crying, da 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 da. Okay, let me start praying. Let me start meditating. Let me start pulling my cards. Next thing I know, I have answers. I have some sort of guidance and direction. So whatever that is for you, do that. I do suggest to feel what you're feeling. Write it out if you have to. Really understand why you feel the way that you do. And then after that, not just dust it like that, but really start to look at the other parts of your life that you've neglected since that situation has arisen, right? And what you do is all of that pain and all that anger, all of that, depressing energy, you then look at the parts of your life that you've been neglecting, maybe not on purpose, maybe on accident, and put all of that energy into that. Focus your energy into that. And I know that a lot of people would say it's not healthy to just go back to work or whatever it is. But I truly believe that it's not about exactly what you're doing, it's why you're doing it. And when you realize just how much you've probably neglected other parts of your life, or when you realize that whatever that thing that hurts you that you cannot get back, whenever you realize that that's gone and that it is what it is, you have to then find another way for all of that beautiful energy that was created there to go to something else. Because just like a plant, when you have a plant that has a dead leaf or something, you got to take that thing off. You can keep it there, but it's only sucking up good energy. You know what I mean? So whatever that situation is, you'll have a respect level for it. You'll have a love for it, right? But you have to look at what other parts of my plant do I need to grow? What part of my garden has been lacking? What part of my garden needs more sunshine? Meaning, what part of myself or what part of my life needs more of my attention, my happiness, exposure? Maybe you just haven't been paying attention to it. Let's say it's water. Let's say your plant or your garden needs water. That means, who have I been emotionally neglecting? What have I been not being emotionally connected to, and maybe that's why I'm not getting the outcome that I'm looking for. Let's say that it needs soil. Okay, what part of my life do I need to structure? What part of my life have I not really planned it out? And maybe that's why it's not building at the rate that I would like it to. Or maybe that's why we're not connected how I think we should be. You really have to look at it like that. And the reason I use the plant analogy is because I believe nature teaches us. Any part of nature, including human nature, teaches us how we can deal with our own personal lives and our own personal trials and tribulations that we go through. And in order for things to grow, as we do and as plants do, you have to nurture it. There has to be a sense of empathy. There has to be a cycle of repetition to keep that plant growing. Now, certain plants don't need as much as other plants, but all plants and all things within a garden or even in the forest need the bare essentials. And if you're lacking one of those, it's not going to grow, or it's not going to grow as quickly or as strong as it could. You understand what I'm saying? So I think instead of looking at what is hurting you, you got to cut it off. You got to let it go, right? That part, you just got to get real with yourself on it. Once you get to that point, however you connect to spirit, however you connect to yourself, however you connect to God, then figure out what your next movement should be, you know, and then direct all of that beautiful energy, because it's still beautiful. It's just, it went to a place where it's no longer being accepted. So take that beautiful energy and you go put it into the other parts of your garden, and you watch how things flourish. And you have faith in yourself that it's going to be okay. You have hope for yourself. Never, ever, ever, I don't care what walks out of your life, who walks out of your life, never, ever, ever give up on yourself. Because without you, there is no existence of your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So just because a small piece of your life walks out, without you, there would be no your life. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because I really want you to let that sink in. So that little piece that you think is your whole life, it's not. You're your whole life. I don't care what it is. You come first in your life. That doesn't mean be selfish or be... Sometimes you need to be selfish, but what I'm saying is, without you, none of it can keep going. Nothing else can grow within your own life if you're not present. Okay? So keep that in mind and just keep pushing forward for whoever needs to hear this message, whoever is going through something rough. We all go through it, and I know in those moments it's really hard to feel like you have people around you, and you start looking through, looking on the internet for support, child, and you over here trying to figure out, how do you heal yourself? How do you help yourself? Those are those come to Jesus moments. Those are those dark night of the soul situations. The real answer is you're your own answer. That's really the real answer. But after that, once you realize that that's what you got to go through, okay, what do we do next? You start working, you start building. It may seem insensitive, but it's not. I promise you it's not. If you feel like you lacking love from something and you're not getting that love and comfort and support, then you go be that for some part in your life. Just make sure it's worth it. You understand? You go put that energy and you go love on your children. You go put that energy and you go build whatever you're supposed to build. You go put that energy and you go show love to yourself. Because I guarantee you, whatever that is, if it causes that much hurt for you when it's gone, it was important. So that means you're putting a lot of important energy into that. You need to go put that right back into your own life, so the whole cycle can continue in a positive direction and not a backwards direction. Okay? So shout out to everybody who is watching this, who needs to hear this. I'm rooting for you. I don't know what you're going through, but my heart is rooting for you. Okay? So you just keep going. The more that you go, the higher you get to grow. And I don't even know if that made sense, but it came to my mind, so I said it. All right. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.